Good afternoon, Patreon subscribers. Haley here, and we got to catch up with Nora Groft of Northwestern after her big win against rival Warner last night, and Kelly Schroeder of Washington after their big program win against Watertown last night. Caught up with these coaches and just excited to share their thoughts about, again, big wins, and then also we dove into some of their impact players and what they have coming up. So hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I have Coach Nora Groft coming off a fresh win from her rivalry match, Northwestern Warner, last night. Coach, congrats on the rivalry win. Why don't you just go ahead and talk a little bit about, what you tell your team going into that game every year and how big that win is for your program.
Well, we just kind of talk. You don't have to really tell the kids that it's an important match. I mean, they know that. And so it's more about keeping them calm and, just trying to get them to their happy place so they can perform well and not get too caught up in all the hype.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And we did notice you guys were wearing leggings last night. Was that any specific reason, or the girls just thought it would look cool, trying to keep the legs warm, or what was the reason behind that?
Well, they wear them a lot for practice.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone to camps where, like down the Huskers have worn them and things like that. But just in the land of COVID, we're sliding all over the floor, and then somebody else is sliding on top of it. It's kind of a safety thing. One of our players didn't get to play in the match last night because she's in quarantine. So, we're just doing everything we can to kind of be cautious. So we thought we'd give that a try, and I think the kids kind of liked it. It was kind of fun for them. They wear leggings every day, and it's just kind of a fun, different look. It kind of gave them a little spark of energy, just doing something different.
Yeah, well, you guys had plenty of energy heading into this match. Just so much right off the bat, was back and forth. Serve received looked really well. Defense, obviously, with Joslyn Haven back there. Why don't you let's go into some of your individual players actually right now, and so many to highlight on your team, it seems like, at every position. But Sydney Shell is always, a powerhouse for you guys. The offense is shared a little bit more this year. But why don't you just talk about Sydney Shell and how her confidence is kind of built throughout the years? We've noticed here that even the difference between last year and this year, it seems like every single swing, she's just getting after it, and there's just so much confidence in her play.
Yeah, Sydney's done a good job of, just growing up in the program. She made the varsity in 8th grade, but her job was just to sit there and watch the big kids get it done and, soak it in and learn, and played a little JV, and then we just kind of baby stepped her into, just playing some front row. And so, last year she took on playing the back row. She'd never even played back row until last year. And so, we've really just kind of tried to slow down her progression just a little bit so that she can get comfortable and confident. And it's really fun to see her be a senior and take on that leadership role. She's serving and passing well, and obviously when she gets in the front row, she just has a fast arm swing. Mm-hmm. And she gets up high, but it's her fast arm swing that is tough for people to match. And Sydney's just one of those quirky kids. She's got just a fun personality. She's got these big dimples when she smiles, and that just gives the whole team a boost when she gets a big tail and comes down smiling and excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's super fun to watch, along with so much of your team. But another senior that's really stepped up and into her spot this year is Hannah Schletzel. And, we kind of talk about her a lot because she does a little bit of everything for your squad. When she's in the back row, she sets a little bit, but then she can also get it done on the offensive end. I think she had 10 kills last night to go along with her setting responsibilities. So what has it been like to kind of transition her? Because I know she was more of a middle last year, but just kind of moving her around, and how has she responded to that role change?
Sure. Well, Hannah was just a little spitfire wrestling her whole life. We've trained her as a setter up until last year. She grew 5 inches between her sophomore and junior year. And so, I think the dream was always for her and Madeline to run a 6'2", so they could, both swing and hit. But it just became so obvious last year that Hannah just needed to pass and hit. Just her size of the net was such a huge advantage for us. And so we kind of transitioned her into a hitting position last year because we had a setter at the varsity level, and we're able to do that. Mm-hmm. this year because of, COVID, and we didn't get a club season and didn't get to do as much this summer as we normally would. Our younger setters, didn't get the experience and touches that they normally would to develop. And so we're kind of using Hannah there to showcase all of her skills. She can set the ball, she can pass, she can hit. And so just trying to capitalize on all the things that she brings to the game, which, I know that kid would be a good college player, but I don't know that coaches know what to do with her. Is she a hitter? Is she a setter? She's a volleyball player, and that's kind of how we like to train our kids is you're a volleyball player, you don't just play a specific position. And Hannah is definitely the epitome of what we try to do there, and she's just having a great senior season.
Yeah, she truly is, and again, she can do so much that, we love seeing her set and what she can do moving the ball around to her hitters, but on the other end too, she brings so much fire to your team on that offensive end. I would not want to be you trying to figure out what to do with all of her skill set. But moving on, let's talk about kind of like the Haven squared is what we like to call them, Joslyn and Ella. Two sisters kind of on opposite ends of the game. Joslyn's your libero this year, Ella more of a middle. So just talk about kind of like the dynamic having a sister duo on the team. Is there any, I'm sure that brings a lot of emotional energy to your side of the net, but yeah, just talk about their dynamic.
Joslyn playing libero and Ella playing middle, not only are they playing opposite ends on the volleyball court, but they are completely opposite personalities and in off the court. They are absolutely nothing alike, and so it's really fun to have them on the court. Joslyn takes her role as defensive captain very seriously, and she's not afraid to get after Ella in the back row. Ella's having to play back row because Hayden Bull, who would normally play some back row for her, is quarantined. So they kind of got into it a few times last night. That was kind of fun that Ella didn't think Joslyn was going to get there, so she was going to take the ball, and Joslyn's got second ball, so it's kind of fun to see them get after each other a little bit. And Joslyn's not afraid to let little sister know that she's not in the right spot, and so Ella's very competitive, and I just love her competitive fire. And she plays better when she's mad anyway, so we kind of let Joslyn poke the bear a little bit there. So it's kind of fun just having that dynamic on the court. It really is.
Yeah, it just brings an extra almost level of competitiveness to your already, ultra competitive team. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but why don't you just go ahead and preview what your upcoming weeks look like? Any big matches? What are your guys' plans for the next couple weeks, game-wise?
Well, tomorrow we head to Madison to take on Coach Crownville's Bulldogs, and they had a great match with Sioux Falls Christian this week. Yeah. Madison's playing at a high level of volleyball for this early in the season, and we don't have anyone to match. Abby Brooks' size at 6'2" in the middle, so that's going to cause some problems for us. So hopefully we get ourselves down back in after our crazy homecoming week here and are ready to compete on a Saturday. That's always a concern. Next week we go to Miller on Tuesday, and we are hosting Ipswich on Thursday, and Ipswich is a program that is just absolutely on the rise. Trent Osborne's doing a great job with those kids. Those kids are in the gym a lot. They play a lot of club and matchbox, so that's really good to see. And then on Saturday, we have a triangular at Platte Geddes with them and Canastota. And so, we've got busy weeks for Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for the next couple of weeks. The week after that, we've got three days as well. So awesome. Hopefully everyone stays healthy and we can kind of just get rolling into our season. We're pretty excited to be through week 3. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Usually by now we've played so many more matches. Only having played 5 matches, it's kind of slow for us. So it's, our development's a little bit different. We always want to try to peak at the right time and, play as many kids as we can. And so just trying to find that formula this year has been a little bit challenging because you never know when you're not going to be able to play again. So just trying to find some balance in that and kind of see what we can do so we can be at our best at the end of the season.
Yeah, awesome. Well, best of luck the upcoming weeks and the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll be seeing lots of your Wildcat volleyball, and we're super excited again to see how you guys can progress and make the most of these busy next couple of weeks, and then again through hopefully November and the postseason. But I'll let you go to your homecoming barbecue. And again, thanks for your time.
Yep, thanks a lot, Haley. Appreciate all that you do.
Okay, welcome back to our Patreon. Here I am with Sioux Falls, Washington head coach Kelly Schroeder, fresh off of an exciting win last night against defending state champs Watertown. Coach, how are you feeling this morning after such an emotional and long game last night?
Tired, definitely, but excited. It was a good win, and it was good for our girls because outside of playing Watertown at the beginning of the year, it was a good test of just our resilience and playing against a pretty good team. So, we talked to the girls last night, and we know too that we gotta move on, and because we got Dakota Valley on Saturday, so another tough team. But yeah, definitely a good win last night for us.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this isn't your first run-in with the Arrows, even just this season. What was the difference from just the 10 days ago when you played the Arrows for the first time and they came out on top at Washington?
And it's crazy to even think that it was only 10 days ago. It seems like it was so long ago. But, I think both sides, we both competed. And we're both going through some different things with players that are out. The big factor last night, obviously, for us was Jackalinga. She came out and just really kind of lit things up in the third, fourth, and fifth set, and ended up with 21 kills. Only had 2 errors on 28 attempts and hit like a 690. So obviously, when you can get a middle to come out and just kind of take over the front row like that really kind of alleviated some pressure. I think that we had the first time against Watertown that our pins had to really perform. So it was really awesome that she kind of had her breakout game when we needed her to.
Yeah, awesome. And then, so did you and Coach Bellum kind of get together and make a deal about always going like 5-set marathons when you guys play, or what's the deal behind that? Is there some secret code going on?
We always want the officials to get their money's worth and make them work. But no, yeah, I think that's what Double A is going to kind of be, and it usually is that way a lot. There's already been some 5-set matches this year between teams, and it's always competitive, and you got to come out and you got to compete every night. So, and it's a good test too for us. Those 5-set games really test your endurance and your perseverance. And with us losing our tournaments, not that I want to go 5, but those are kind of some of those games that you learn some different things and who's going to be able to perform and last in those long games.
Yeah, of course. Why don't we go into some of your players? Because I know you mentioned one earlier, and you don't have to give away any of your secrets here, but can you tell us a little bit about new middle blocker Wenentanda? This is her junior year, but just the first we're seeing of her. How did she kind of make her way onto the roster, and what's kind of her story?
Yeah, so I've known Jackalinga from when I worked with Kairos and doing club stuff. And she actually went to O'Gorman her freshman year. And I believe she didn't play volleyball. She played club, but she actually ran cross country. So she did cross country and basketball and track. And then this last year, she transferred to Washington her sophomore year. And she still continued she did cross country last year and then basketball. And then obviously we didn't have a track season. And she just approached me late in the summer, or late in the school year, I guess, the typical school year. And it said that she was interested in doing volleyball this year. So obviously the knowledge that I knew about her from when she was younger, and then just seeing her play basketball last year, we were obviously willing to work with her. Having a 6'2", Division I basketball prospect come in is never a bad thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, we worked with her this summer and different things with the open gyms that we had, and she's really just kind of finding her groove right now and finding her way in our offense.
Yeah, and like you said, a huge game for her last night, hitting such a high percentage and 21 kills for any middle at any point is it's a pretty big feat there. But excited to continue to watch her grow, and like we said, only a junior, so lots of time ahead of her. What about the Richardsons, the play of both the Richardsons, Katie and Joslyn? What is it like having sisters on the roster? I know I talked to Nora Groft earlier, and she kind of just spoke about the competitiveness of having those two.
Yeah, I mean it's different, and it's a good thing too. And so we got two Richardsons, we got two Shetlands, and they're actually cousins as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
I mean, basically we have like four family members on the same team, and sometimes they're on the court all together at the same time, and it's good. They like to compete with each other, and it's one of those things where you don't necessarily have to work on connections with them, that you do with normal players. They've been, they play backyard games together, and they know, and they have that relationship already built with each other. So that's, kind of been a huge thing for us too. It's just, we have two returning starters that came back, and everybody else is new, but it doesn't necessarily seem like that as far as cohesiveness on the floor.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the interesting facets of volleyball in the state of South Dakota that I'm seeing, is just the amount of people that have cousins and relatives and just everywhere. It seems like everyone here is related somehow.
Yeah.
But last and certainly not least, I know you touched on Sydney Shetland a little bit, but she's been a little bit on and off in the past due to some injuries. What was it like to see her light up last night and really take over that fifth set and get those last few kills for your team?
Yeah, I mean, it has been tough, and we had a good talk with her at the beginning of the season, because this is kind of the first time that we've had the okay and the clearing to have a full season. So to have that in mind and know that she's healthy is a good thing. I actually had a little conversation with her dad last night. We need to get her angry more often. That was the thing, last night, and she's had it in a couple other games where you don't want to make her mad, and that's when she just goes up and she's super aggressive and goes after the ball. But it's good, having her again healthy. But too, she's our 4-year player.
Yeah.
So having that experience on the floor, she's not going through that recruiting process. That's done, so that's not in her mind. The only thing going through her head is, trying to leave her mark in school history for us, and hopefully go out on top of their high school career.
Yeah, awesome. Well, congrats again, Coach, on such an awesome redemption win last night. I'm sure this is not the last battle we'll see from you two this season, or even other AA teams. But now looking forward, you've got a fill-in match that you mentioned earlier against Dakota Valley on Saturday. Class A powerhouse, a really solid team, especially defensively. But what do you expect to see from your team after such a performance last night going into Saturday?
We talked about it last night. We even talked about it earlier this week. We got in the locker room, we talked, and we said, okay, these are the things we did well. These are the things we need to continue to work on. Watertown's in the past now. We got to look forward to Saturday, and that's what we're going to work on today in practice and get ready for them, because we know they're a good team. It doesn't matter if you're Class A or Class B. If you're a good solid team, you're a good solid team. So we know that we're going to have to go in and play solid defense. Our front line's going to have to be big, and we're going to have to use our size to slow them down a little bit. And attacking-wise, when you play good defensive teams, and we see those teams in AA2, you got your Hurons of the world. That you just got to be patient, and you got to be ready to just continue swinging and know that they're going to get digs. They're going to keep the ball alive, but you just got to stay confident and keep going after it.
Yeah, definitely. And then so this game wasn't originally on the schedule. How did it even come about? How do you get a game added to the schedule when, there's no tournaments? Do you just call up the ADs of Dakota Valley, or again, how did this match kind of come up?
Yeah, basically, once we found out, once our district said that we weren't going to attend tournaments, um, I started emailing coaches and just tried to see who was in the same boat and who had an opening. And we ended up, we only have 19 on our schedule right now, just because we tried working some few things out with some other schools, but dates just didn't line up. But yeah, basically that's how it's worked, is just contacting coaches and ADs and trying to figure out something that works for both of us. And we were able to set something up at Dakota Valley because they had lost the tournament, and we had an open date together. So
Awesome. Well, we're excited to see you two face off, and I won't take up too much of your time today. So thanks again, and again excited to see you two match up and see your offense kind of take on one of the better defensive teams in the state. But congrats again, and good luck this weekend.
thanks, Ed.
Yeah. Thanks.